Greetings people, it's time for the monthly update and it's a rather short one, I'm afraid, and without any reports. June has been both slow and intense at the same time when it comes to the Knife Age. I didn't have a single casual game all month except for some Universal Battle games. For you who don't know what that is, check out this link and you'll find a web-based platform for playing most kind of tabletop games. When it comes to hobbying, I've kit-bashed and painted one model. It was this Medusa, which fit nicely with my other one. The reason for this was that I needed it for a tournament, and that takes us to the intense part. It was VetCon and it was held the last weekend of June, so battle reports have to wait for a while. Instead I thought I should present the armies I was up against and give you a chance for some betting. First of all, the army size was 5,000 points, so I had to change the army a bit, but with no practice games it was not the time to make any drastic changes from the army I brought for Lincoln. I replaced the Hydra with a chariot, added a second Medusa and chose 2 smaller units of spears, and that's about it. As I mentioned, I thought the list worked well the last tournament, but for the mistakes on my part, and when it comes to a full out Yima list I can't come up with any more changes, but perhaps someone out there can. The games then. First one was against Matthias and his Infernal Dwarfs. He's a rather average and casual player, and so far I think I've played him twice, where we have 1 win each. Last game wasn't long ago, since it were at Lincoln, with pretty much the same matchup as this time. He has removed his strain for another unit of Kadims, but otherwise it's almost the same. List-wise I consider it a good matchup, since I think my list is good at handle his Kadims and mixed type of armies in general. His character block is a tough nut to crack, but that's about it, I think. For game 2 I was up against Erik and he brought his Vermin Swarm. Erik is as tough an opponent as I can get, being head of the Knife Age Rules team and a core part of Sweden's ETC team for several years, I think. I played him once last year, which was a non-bloody affair and ended in a draw. Looking through the lists before the tournament, I picked his as my very worst matchup. At Lincoln I played another Vermin Swarm list, way less scary, and I still got spanked, so this is a tough one. Third game, and it was against Axel and his Vampire Covenant. Axel is also an average player, a bit like myself probably, since we used to have similar results at tournaments. When it comes to personal history though, I've won every game against him, and usually rather big. After Vermin Swarm I consider all the VC lists a bad matchups. None of them looked the same, but they were all scary in their own right. Axel's was something I never seen before, very fast and hard hitting, which is troublesome as I'm supposed to be the fast one. He has still also enough blocks to make it a war of attrition, which I don't like. And for the fourth game, it's another VC list. Albert this time, who beat me in a Dreadolf mirror at Lincoln. I don't know him that well, but I think he is involved in the ETC team. His list is very different from Axel's, with tons of diverters and then wraiths, which are very hard for me to handle, so all in all another hard matchup. Last game, and it was against David. Never played him before, so that's always a treat with a new face. I think he usually gets about the same results as myself, so we should be well matched. I'm sorry, but I'm going to whine more about matchups. Perhaps says more about my list building than anything else, but David's Dwarfs was another tough one. Not as hard as VC or Vermin Swarm, but his shooting is really scary. It's really a hit or miss matchup if I don't decide to go for drawish, all depending on the overall results of the tournament. So another tough one. That have to be it for this time, and if you have any thoughts or betting, feel free to comment, and I'll see you next time. So bye.